You ever dig into your pocket for change, toss a quarter on the counter, and walk away without a second thought? What if I told you that very coin might be worth today? We're diving deep into the 2019 San Antonio Mission State Quarter, a seemingly ordinary piece of change that's turning heads in the numismatic world. With a mind-blowing market value of $1.50 million. And this isn't just about the coin, this is about a lifestyle shift, this is about spotting hidden fortune, turning pocket change into prosperity, and maybe even unlocking a new future for yourself. So stick with me, because what you're about to learn might just change your life. Let's go back to the root of it all. Of the 2019 San Antonio Missions Quarter is part of the America the Beautiful Quarters program, a beautiful initiative launched by the U.S. Mint in 2010. Each design honored a national site, and in 2019, the spotlight turned to the San Antonio Missions National Historical Park in Texas, a site dripping with history, culture, and legacy. But what really makes this quarter special isn't just its artwork. It's that tiny letter on the front, the P Mint mark, because coins with the P were minted in Philadelphia, and a very small number of these quarters came out with rare errors, perfect conditions, or mysterious traits that make collectors fight for them. We'll get into the wild details of those in a moment. But let me just plant this seed. One error variation alone caused the value of this quarter to skyrocket into the millions. Stick around, because I'll reveal what to look for in your own coins. Not just with our eyes, but with our understanding. The reverse side of the coin shows four symbols: wheat, symbolizing farming, a lion, representing Spanish heritage, the arches of the mission's architecture, and flowing water, the essence of life in the arid Texas heat. The coin itself is telling the story of struggle, faith, survival, and success, and ironically, that's the same story you might find yourself living if you're sitting on one of these rare coins, because just like those early Spanish missionaries carved civilization from dust, you could carve $1 million opportunity from your old coin. It all comes down to rarity, error, and condition. A limited number of 2019 San Antonio quarters came off the presses with what collectors call die breaks, doubled dies, and struck through errors. Now combine that with a coin in MS68 plus condition, which means it's practically flawless, and boom, the price starts climbing. Add in historical importance, collector demand, and limited availability, and suddenly, you've got a coin that jumps from 25 cents to $1 million and beyond. But what makes this story even more fascinating is what happened to one man from Oklahoma. 63 years old, retired plumber. Living on a modest pension, Jerry had no clue he was sitting on a goldmine. One Sunday afternoon, digging through his old tackle box, he found a few shiny coins he'd stashed years ago. He noticed one looked different. He shrugged, almost threw it back in, but instead, he Googled it. What happened next was unbelievable. He reached out to a certified grading company, sent the coin in. They called him within 3 days. One of the rarest known 2019 San Antonio Mission quarters, appraised value, $1.52 million. He sold it 3 weeks later, and bought his dream lake house in Missouri. First things first, pull out your coins. Yes, literally. Open that drawer, coin jar, glove box, wherever you keep your change. Flip each quarter and check for the 2019 date and the P Mint mark on the front. Use a jeweler's loupe or even your phone camera zoom. And here's a powerful tip most people don't know. Compare your quarter to an online reference from NGC or PCGS, two of the biggest coin grading companies, but don't rush to sell yet. Because there's one more thing that determines the final price, and it might surprise you. Coin value isn't just about rarity. It's about presentation, demand, and negotiation. Send your coin to a professional grading service like NGC or PCGS. A higher grade means higher value. MS68 or MS69 can make all the difference. Sometimes, a quiet private sale to a collector gets you more money, especially if the coin fills a hole in their set. Other times, going through a major auction house can start a bidding war that sends the price into the stratosphere. Certification and storytelling. People don't just buy coins. They buy history. Document your coin's origin, the discovery, and any personal story behind it. You'd be surprised how much buyers will pay for a good story with their rare treasure. And remember, if Jerry can do it, you can too. One that might lead you to a $1.5 million payday. Right now, thousands of these quarters are sitting unnoticed in homes, cars, and drawers across America. And while some people ignore them, others are changing their lives. So here's the real question. Check your change, tell your story, and never underestimate the power of pocket money. Gentlemen, listen up. What if I told you that in the depths of your pocket change, in the dusty corner of an old jar in your garage, or inside the forgotten drawer next to your bed, might be hiding a coin worth more than a Ferrari, more than a house, more than some people make in a lifetime? Yes, I'm talking about the 2016 P Mint mark Cumberland Gap State Quarter, a piece of metal worth an earth-shaking $1.6 million. Sounds crazy, right? But this isn't fantasy. This is real. and by the time we're done today, you'll know exactly what to look for, why it's so valuable, how it ended up being worth more than gold, and how men just like you turned their spare change into a wealthy lifestyle. So get comfortable, grab a cup of coffee, because what you're about to hear could literally change your life. In 2016, the US Mint released a series of coins honoring national parks and historical sites. Among them was the now famous Cumberland Gap Quarter. Designed to celebrate Kentucky's historic gateway to the West, this coin featured a frontier man holding a rifle, staring boldly toward the horizon. But while most people saw just another state quarter, a few keen-eyed collectors noticed something unusual. Some coins, minted at the Philadelphia facility, carried specific signs. Tiny differences, flaws, misalignments, or textures so subtle you'd miss them unless you knew where to look, and those signs, those rare features, turned this common quarter into one of the most valuable coins in U.S. history. But before we jump into what makes this coin worth $1.6 million, let me tell you about something most collectors miss, a twist in history that made this quarter a silent treasure. The oldest mint in the country is known for high production. Millions of quarters pour out of there like water from a faucet. But occasionally, the process hits a bump. A die crack. A double die. A planchet error. These mistakes are gold for collectors, because rarity drives price. The 2016 Cumberland Gap Quarter with the P Mint mark came with a few rare error varieties. Double die obverse. Off-center strikes. And most famously, a misaligned die that left a ghosted image near the edge. These weren't mass-produced errors. They were freak accidents. 1 in tens of millions. But they existed, and collectors took notice. Auctions began quietly. Then came the headlines. One man in Tennessee sold his error coin for over $300,000. Another collector refused a $1 million offer. And then, in a shocking private sale, a pristine Cumberland Gap Quarter with a rare double die sold for $1.60 million. That was the moment the coin world exploded. But what exactly did that coin have that made it worth a small fortune? Stay with me. Because next, we're diving into the diagnostic secrets that could help you find one of these $1 million quarters sitting in your change jar right now. To the untrained eye, the 2016 P Cumberland Gap looks like every other quarter. But with a loupe or magnifier, you start to see magic. First, check the rifle. In the rare double die version, the barrel shows doubling along the edge, like a faint shadow behind it. Next, inspect the man's hat and coat. In some errors, you'll notice notching along the edges or an almost 3D effect from the doubling. Then, there's the word "First Doorway to the West." If you spot shadowing, extra thickness in the letters, or anything that looks like it was pressed more than once, congratulations. You might be holding a $1 million quarter. Don't just inspect the coin from one angle. Light can hide or reveal doubling. Rotate it. Shift it. Use natural daylight. Because the tiniest clue can mean the difference between 25 cents and $1.6 million. But before you go rushing to sell, there's something critical you must know. Most dealers miss it. And it's the difference between being underpaid and becoming wealthy. You don't want to miss this part. A man walks into a coin shop with what he thinks is a $100 coin. The dealer, knowing exactly what he's looking at, offers him $500 on the spot. The man thinks he won. But the dealer flips that coin for $850,000 a week later. It's happened more than once. You see, most people don't know how to grade a coin, or where to sell it, or how to get it authenticated properly. Authentication is everything when it comes to $1 million coins. Without it, your coin's value is just a story. But with proper grading from PCGS or NGC, and a confirmed error, you can demand top dollar. So if you think you've got the coin, don't just toss it on eBay. Don't go to a pawn shop. And don't tell anyone until you know exactly what you've got. Now, what if I told you there are still hundreds of these rare quarters out there, undiscovered? And the window to cash in is closing fast. Because once they're all found, the mystery ends, and so does the $1 million payout. There's Joe, a retired truck driver from West Virginia. He'd saved change for years in a 5-gallon water jug. One day, while rolling quarters for fun, he noticed a funny-looking rifle on the Cumberland Gap Quarter. Something looked off. He sent it to PCGS. It came back as a verified double die, Mint State 68. And used the money to buy land, pay off his daughter's medical bills, and start a fishing lodge. Then there's Mark, a veteran from Florida. He bought a roll of uncirculated 2016 quarters from a coin show, just for fun. In that roll was the coin. The one that fetched $1.6 million in a private auction. His life changed overnight. These aren't flukes. These are men who took the time to look. Who learned. Who believed, because up next, I'm going to tell you exactly where to look, how to search, and how to stack the odds in your favor. Gather all your quarters from 2016. Focus on those with the Cumberland Gap design and a P mint mark. Get a magnifying glass or jeweler's loupe. Search for doubling, ghosting, or striking errors. Pay close attention to the rifle, the wording, and the frontiersman's features. Photograph your coin clearly, front and back, and compare it to known images of error varieties from PCGS, NGC, and major auction sites. If it looks promising, send it for authentication. Do not try to clean it. Do not touch it more than necessary. The condition matters, and most importantly, don't wait. These opportunities don't last forever. Every day, someone else is waking up a millionaire from a coin they found in their glove box. And while they're on a beach in Hawaii, sipping a cold drink, you could still be wondering if your drawer holds the same fortune. Gentlemen, this isn't just about a coin. It's about a mindset. The difference between 25 cents and $1.6 million is one thing: awareness. Are you going to check your change tonight? Or are you going to leave that fortune in the dark? I'll leave you with this cliffhanger. There's another 2016 quarter with an even rarer error, and it's flying under the radar. I'll be revealing that in the next video. Subscribe, stay alert, and keep hunting. Because in this game, one coin can change everything. If you found this video helpful, give it a thumbs up and share it with your buddies who might have this coin in their collection. You never know who you might help retire early, and remember, I've got more coin secrets and millionaire stories coming your way. Don't miss out. What if I told you that a coin sitting in your kitchen drawer or tucked into your old jean pocket could be worth over $1.7 million today? Sounds like a stretch, right? But stay with me. Because today, we're diving deep into the astonishing story of the 1999 P Connecticut State Quarter. A seemingly ordinary coin that, under the right conditions, could unlock a fortune that changes your life forever. How many times have you handled pocket change without giving it a second glance? How many coffee shop counters, toll booths, vending machines have you walked past, possibly handing away a tiny piece of American treasure? You're about to discover how this coin, released over 2 decades ago, is now shocking the collector's market, commanding a value few ever expected. This is more than a coin, this is a millionaire's mystery hiding in plain sight. Let's rewind to the year 1999. The world was worried about Y2K, boy bands ruled the radio, and the US Mint had just begun one of its most ambitious programs ever, the 50-state quarters program. Each state would be honored with a unique design, rolled out over 10 years. Connecticut's quarter was the 5th in the series. Minted in Philadelphia, hence the P Mint mark, it featured a design that was elegant, historical, and deeply symbolic. At its center, the Charter Oak. Now, this wasn't just any tree. The Charter Oak was a living symbol of American independence and defiance. Legend has it, Connecticut's Royal Charter of 1662 was hidden inside the hollow of this massive oak tree to protect it from being seized by the British. That image was chosen to represent the state, a proud nod to its history of courage and self-governance, but little did anyone know that years later, one of these humble coins bearing that historic tree would be worth more than many people's homes. So what exactly makes one of these Connecticut quarters explode in value, while most are worth just 25 cents? Stick around, because the answer is where history, rarity, and error collide. Here's the part that turns curiosity into obsession for collectors. While hundreds of millions of Connecticut quarters were minted in 1999, only a microscopic number have the traits needed to push them into 6 and 7 figures in value. The $1 million Connecticut quarter is no ordinary specimen. It's a rare, error coin, an anomaly, a freak of minting perfection. Experts believe these coins have a combination of key features. First, the strike must be flawless. Sharp, bold details. That means the lines of the Charter Oak's branches must be crisp and clearly defined, with not a single blur in the lettering or date. Second, the coin must have been preserved in pristine, uncirculated condition, graded at MS68 or higher by professional grading services like PCGS or NGC. Anything less, and the value drops significantly. But here's where things get truly exciting. Some of these Connecticut quarters show signs of double die errors. That's when the die used to stamp the coin shifts ever so slightly, resulting in doubled images on the coin, most often visible in the words Connecticut or the Charter Oak. These double die errors are highly prized. Then there's the holy grail, the transitional planchet error. Some Connecticut quarters were mistakenly struck on planchets intended for other denominations or metal compositions. That kind of mint mistake is astronomically rare. And it's exactly what turned one of these coins into a $1.7 million jackpot. What if I told you one of these $1 million coins was found in a roll of quarters from a local bank? The story gets wilder. Let's talk about real people. Regular folks, just like you, who struck gold without even knowing it. A man in Ohio, 62 years old, was helping his grandson with a coin collection. They opened a fresh roll of quarters from a neighborhood bank. Inside was a shiny Connecticut quarter that caught his eye. The details were unusually sharp. He had a hunch, sent it for grading, and the result? MS-69. Near perfect. And yes, it had a double die error. Today, that coin sits in a vault, valued at over $1.6 million. Another collector stumbled upon a Connecticut quarter at a flea market, buried in a tray of old coins priced at 50 cents each. Turns out, it had a transitional planchet error. It was struck on a Sacagawea dollar planchet. Estimated value? $1.7 million. These aren't just feel-good stories. They're wake-up calls. Grab a magnifying glass. Look closely at the tree branches, the date, and especially the words Connecticut and the Charter Oak. Any sign of doubling? You might have a double die error. Weigh the coin. A standard quarter weighs 5.67 grams. If your coin weighs more or less, especially if it's lighter, it might have been struck on the wrong planchet. That's huge. And finally, if your quarter passes all these tests, send it in for professional grading. Services like PCGS or NGC are trusted in the industry. A coin graded MS-68 or higher with an error could change your life, but don't rush off to sell just yet. Because timing, believe it or not, plays a massive role in how much your coin could fetch. The market can be as wild as the stock market. As of now, top-tier error coins from the 1999 P Connecticut series are selling for between $1.2 and $1.7 million depending on grade, error type, and collector demand. The demand is being driven by both wealthy investors and seasoned numismatists, coin collectors, who are paying top dollar for these rare pieces of Americana. Auction houses like Heritage Auctions and Stacksbowers have recently seen fierce bidding wars over these quarters. In one instance, a Connecticut quarter sparked a bidding war that pushed the price from $800,000 to over $1.6 million in just under 4 minutes. The market's still climbing. Experts say as older collectors pass down their collections or sell them off, younger investors are stepping in and treating rare coins like fine art or rare real estate. That drives the prices up even further. So let's say you're one of the lucky ones. You find a Connecticut quarter that checks all the boxes. First, don't clean it. That can ruin the coin's value. Next, store it safely. A soft coin pouch or a hard plastic capsule will do. Then, get it professionally graded. Once it's certified, you can choose to hold it, insure it, or list it at auction. If you decide to sell, go through a reputable dealer or auction house. They'll help you connect with serious buyers who understand the value of your discovery. A simple Connecticut quarter from 1999, struck in Philadelphia, could be worth more than your house, your car, and your 401k combined. Gentlemen, this is more than a coin, it's a wake-up call. A reminder that sometimes, the most valuable things in life are right under our noses. So the next time you're about to drop some change in a tip jar or leave it on a gas station counter, pause. Take a closer look, because you just might be holding $1.7 million in your hand. Coins don't just carry value. They carry history, stories, and sometimes, the key to a completely different life. Check your change. Chase the treasure. And stay curious. Because your $1 million moment might be closer than you think. What if I told you that a single coin, something you might have tossed in a jar, dropped in a vending machine, or slipped behind the couch, could be worth $1.8 million today? Yes, you heard that right. One coin. One quarter. Specifically, the 2020 P. Marsh Billings Rockefeller quarter. A coin you might have touched with your own hands. A coin that could change your life forever. Stick with me. By the end of this video, you'll not only know why this specific quarter is so valuable, but you might just start checking your change like a treasure hunter on a mission, because your fortune could be lying silently in your pocket right now. Let's start at the beginning. The year was 2020. A year we all remember, not for coins, but for chaos. Lockdowns, uncertainty, a world turned upside down, and while most folks were distracted by survival, something fascinating slipped quietly through the hands of millions of Americans: the release of the Marsh-Billings-Rockefeller Quarter, part of the America the Beautiful series. Now, this wasn't just any quarter. It was minted in honor of a national historical park in Vermont, dedicated to conservation and the legacy of stewardship across generations. But hidden in the storm of 2020, at the Philadelphia Mint, a tiny number of these quarters were struck with rare characteristics. Quarters so exceptional, they would go unnoticed by almost everyone, except the sharpest eyes in the world of numismatics, and that, my friend, is where the story truly begins. They're not just coin enthusiasts. They're detectives, historians, investors, visionaries, and they quickly realized that something was different about some of these 2020 Marsh-Billings-Rockefeller quarters. The details were crisper, the luster different, a faint doubling on the inscriptions, anomalies in the strike, and above all, one thing that made all the difference: a flawless, pristine condition rarely achieved, known in the grading world as MS-70 or mint state perfection. That level of perfection, combined with its limited run and unique design, created a perfect storm. A hidden gem in a sea of billions. A coin no one saw coming, and then, the bombshell dropped. A 2020 Marsh quarter sold privately for a jaw-dropping $1.80 million. But that's not the twist. The twist is, the seller wasn't a seasoned collector. It was a regular guy. A father. A veteran. Someone just like you, who simply went through an old stash of coins. One afternoon of sorting through pocket change, and he walks away with more money than most make in a lifetime. There are several key factors that determine whether your Marsh quarter is worth $1 or $1.8 million. If your quarter has a D or no mint mark at all, it's not the one we're after. We're talking strictly about the minted Marsh quarter. That little letter, to the left of George Washington's ponytail, it changes everything. This is where professional coin grading comes into play. An MS-70 quarter, meaning it's flawless under 5x magnification, is a golden ticket. You can't get that from a coin that's been circulating in someone's pocket for a year. So check those rolls. Look for untouched quarters, especially ones straight from original mint bags or collector rolls. Some of these quarters were struck with fascinating die varieties, doubling on the text, especially United States of America or In God We Trust. Other anomalies include strike-throughs, off-center strikes, or planchet flaws. And you know what's wild? Some error coins fetch more than the perfect ones because they're literally one of a kind. And now here's something even the seasoned collectors missed at first: the real treasure might not be just in the graded coins. There are still uncirculated Marsh quarters out there, hiding in unopened rolls, sitting in drawers, buried in forgotten change jars. Yes, untouched, unseen coins. Waiting, but let me tell you something powerful: most people will never check. They'll let those coins go. Spend them. Ignore them. I met a man named Frank last year at a local coin show in Ohio. Vietnam vet. Humble. Gray beard, old school values. He told me his grandkids got him into coin collecting. One day, sorting through an old coffee can, he found a 2020 Marsh quarter. Sent it in. Came back MS-69. Sold it for over $47,000. I never thought a quarter would pay off my truck, my taxes, and my grandbaby's school fees. Frank didn't go looking for gold, but he found it. People are realizing that their old coins, the change rattling in kitchen drawers, the bags in grandma's attic, might hold more value than they ever dreamed. And in uncertain times, when the markets bounce, banks tighten, and retirement feels like a moving target, that rare coin could be your safety net, your opportunity. Look specifically for the 2020 Marsh-Billings-Rockefeller quarter. Even the slightest scratch or polish can lower its value by thousands. Look for doubling on the lettering and details in the tree design. A standard quarter weighs 5.67 grams. If it's lighter or heavier, it could be an error coin. Use a professional grading service like PCGS or NGC. Don't skip this. It's what turns your coin from interesting to investment grade. The more eyes on your coin, the better your odds of a discovery. What if the real jackpot coin, the one that could break all records, hasn't even been found yet? Experts believe that proof error versions of the 2020p Marsh quarter may exist. Coins accidentally struck with mirrored proof dies but released into circulation. None have been confirmed yet, but rumors are swirling and collectors are watching. All it takes is one. Just one coin to shatter the record and push the value past $2 million. Maybe $3 million. It'll be found by someone like you, someone curious, someone patient, someone bold enough to believe that treasure still exists. The 2020p Marsh Billings Rockefeller quarter is more than a coin. It's a ticket, a test, a treasure, and maybe, just maybe, it's your turn to find it. Subscribe now, because we're just getting started. What if I told you that tucked away inside your pocket change, buried under years of dust in an old drawer, or forgotten in a childhood coin jar, lies a coin that could be worth $1.9 million, a 2014 D'Arches National Park quarter. A simple $quarter that most people use to buy gumballs, pay parking meters, or toss in a wishing fountain, now fetching almost $2 million in today's red-hot collectibles market. And no, this isn't a rumor. It's not folklore. It's real. And by the end of this video, you'll know why this particular coin is changing lives, and how it could change yours too. Stay with me, because what you're about to discover might just lead you to the most valuable pocket treasure of your lifetime. In 2010, the U.S. Mint kicked off a legendary coin program, the America the Beautiful Quarters series. 56 unique designs, each one celebrating a national park, landmark, or historic site across the United States. Utah's Arches National Park was honored in 2014. And the coin minted in Denver that year, the one with the D Mint mark, was never supposed to become anything more than a quarter, just 25 cents. But as collectors began to examine these coins, something unexpected happened. Among the millions produced, a few quarters stood out. They had subtle, almost ghost-like imperfections, minting anomalies, unique dies, and extremely limited quantities. The 2014 D'Arches quarter, with pristine condition and a nearly impossible die break, became the centerpiece of bidding wars among high-end collectors. That's right. From spare change to life-changing, out of over 250 million Arches quarters minted across Philadelphia and Denver, only a handful of Denver coins carry the precise characteristics collectors are desperately hunting: die varieties. Some of these coins show doubling on the word liberty, and even slight misalignments in the design of the delicate arch itself. Strike sharpness. A perfect strike, with no blemishes, makes a coin stand out. The elite few that graded MS68 or higher by professional grading services? Those are the moneymakers. The elusive minting error, a die break that appears like a crack across the coin, or a ghostly doubling of features not visible to the untrained eye. These errors weren't supposed to happen, but they did. And because of their rarity, they become gold mines. But here's the catch: not all errors are worth millions. You have to know exactly what to look for, and we'll get to that in just a moment. But first, let me tell you about a man from Arizona whose life changed forever because of this one quarter. His name was Eddie McAllister, a retired contractor who spent weekends metal detecting and collecting coins as a quiet hobby. One day, while digging through a shoebox of spare change he'd collected over a decade, Eddie spotted something odd. A 2014 quarter with the Denver Mint marked IT had a shine to it, and something else. A hairline curve near the rim. It looked almost like a crack or a scar. He thought little of it, but decided to get it graded just for fun. That decision turned his entire life around. IT was declared an ultra-rare die break variety in near-perfect condition. And when the hammer dropped at a private auction, the little quarter sold for $1.9 million. Eddie paid off his mortgage, took his wife to Italy, bought a pickup he'd dreamed of for years. And to this day, he still keeps the empty shoebox that changed his life. Let's break down exactly what makes the $1 million 2014 D'Arches quarter so valuable. Point 1. Flip the coin and inspect the delicate arch. On rare versions, there's a slight doubling, especially on the words Arches and Utah. 2. Check the rim. Look for cracks, chips, or die breaks that look like raised lines. These imperfections are key indicators of valuable mint errors. Point 3. The color. High-value coins maintain an original luster, no fingerprints, no scratches, and that perfect silvery gleam. Point 4. If you see anything strange, extra letters, missing parts of the image, or off-center designs, do not spend it. Hold on to it and get it appraised. In a moment, I'll tell you where to search, how to store them, and who can help verify what you've got. But first, what if this whole market is about to explode? Because here's something most people don't know: the coin market is not just about ancient gold pieces or pre-1900 pennies anymore. In fact, the hottest trend right now is modern coins, especially state and national park quarters with verified minting anomalies. Collectors who used to chase 1804 silver dollars? They're now eyeing modern errors because modern coins are attainable. They're hiding in change jars, gas station tills, vending machines, and demand is only rising. As more collectors enter the market and rarities are discovered, prices are skyrocketing. The ones watching this video, they're getting in now, quietly searching, grading, and securing coins while others overlook them. And if you're still watching, you're already ahead of the game. Go check your change, dig through your coin jars, visit estate sales, flea markets, even your grandmother's kitchen drawer. Look for that 2014 Arches quarter with the Denver D mint mark. Look for doubling, cracks, luster. And most of all, look closely, because one of those coins might not just be worth 25 cents, it could be your ticket to a new chapter in life. Don't rush. Protect it. Store it in a safe holder. Reach out to a reputable coin grading service like PCGS or NGC. And get it certified, because in the world of rare coins, documentation is everything. It's about changing lives, making smart moves, and recognizing value where others see loose change. Now go. Your $1 million coin might be waiting, and if you do find one, remember this video, because someday, someone's going to ask you, how did you become a millionaire from a quarter? If you found this video valuable, like, subscribe, and share it with someone who could use a little unexpected treasure in their life. Stay curious. Stay watchful. Your wealth could be hiding in plain sight.